I've been handling human trafficking cases for quite a while. The first case that got my attention was where we learned that kids were being loaded up in 18-wheelers in California. And they were being driven across the country in 18-wheelers with little separate bedrooms. And they would call ahead. The truck would call ahead and say, I'm going to have the girls at truck stop number 32 in an hour. And all these predators would show up at that truck stop and perform those horrible things on these poor girls. This took place all the way from California to New York. The ugly thing about it is the government had every reason to understand what was going on. They had every opportunity to interrupt it, but it wasn't important enough for even the Department of Justice at that time. So the thing you're faced with is, in order to solve this problem, it's not going to be solved by government. It's not going to be solved by the media. A media is a 24-hour story, right? Story comes up and we forget about it. It's not going to be solved by regulators. And obviously it's not going to be solved by politicians. The reason is there's so much money behind all of this. You may or may not know that one of the cases that I just finished taking a deposition in was a case where you had a company called MindGeek in Canada. And MindGeek was a central hub for all the child porn that was being distributed all over the world. MindGeek understood who all of the traffickers were. They knew exactly where to find them, exactly how to talk to them. And they would say, you know, we really need a video of a 14-year-old girl being sodomized in a hotel, preferably several of them being sodomized in a hotel by several men. And so the traffickers would go out and they would film that. Film crew would bring in the cameras and the lights, everything they needed, into a hotel room, right? A Marriott or a Red Roof Inn, where anybody with half a brain at the front desk would understand what's going on. And they would film that thing that the MindGeek folks wanted in Canada. They'd ship it to MindGeek and it would be distributed all over the world. You know, the rest of the story, what I found in that deposition, is most of the money coming to fund organizations like that was coming directly from Wall Street. In this situation, I think the number was approaching $800 million that came from Wall Street, where this company would not even be in business if Wall Street would have said, no, it's not the kind of business we're going to participate in. Ladies and gentlemen, this program, this fundraiser that you're involved with is so critically important, because the only way we can solve the problems is town by town, community by community. There's no way that anybody can get their arms around this from a national level. We're going to be starting a national case, though, in Ohio. It's just been approved by the courts, and we're going to take these folks on in a bigger way. We're going to go into federal court where all of these cases are run through one federal court, to where we can hammer them time and time again in court, and we can actually start using some of the material that we're uncovering in depositions, some of the documents that we're seeing that are uncovered by emails and messages that would make your hair curl when you read this stuff or when you see these depositions. On behalf of all the women and the girls that are victimized every day in this country, we hope you'll do your part. I can assure you I'm doing my part to do what I can in court. And all I can tell you is the ugly side of that is that somebody asks me, well, Mike, do you ever have a chance of making this go away? And the reality is, of course not. Just like the opioid case that we just finished. I can't assure everybody that the opioid case is solved forever. But I do know that I can do something while I'm here. While I'm walking around on this earth, I can do something with my time and my effort. And so that's the way you have to look at this. You can do something right here, right now, while you're still capable of having an impact. I appreciate it. Thank you.